Hello artists, I hope you had a great time learning about the artist Kehinde Wiley and a little bit about his style of art. So today we're going to make a portrait, and it's going to be a Kehinde Wiley styled portrait. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to look up some wallpaper patterns, and I really like nature, so I put nature on mine, but if you're looking for something more simple, you may just want to look for like some of these geometric patterns and shapes. I will say the more complicated the pattern, the more difficult it is going to be for you later. So we want to try to keep it fairly simple. So we're trying to find one that you really like and that you think will work for you. So again, if I really liked these pineapples. Oops, I didn't want to click on them. Here, let's see if I can find them on, because I want to try to save their picture just like we've done this before. So I'm going to go pineapple pattern. And okay, here's some really cool pineapples. So if I wanted to save one of these, remember how we save would be to, I'm going to take this one. And I'm going to pick the picture, click and hold, and I'm going to say add this to photos, okay? So then I'm going to go onto my sketchbook, and here's the other Kehinde Wiley I did with leaves. And you can see there's lots of like patterns and things. There's a portrait of a person, but there's also some of those patterns kind of interlooping, like engaging themselves in the portrait. So I'm going to start by opening up my new sketch, create, and I want to lay that pattern. So first thing I'm going to do is import that pineapple pattern, and I want it to be really big, like as big as my paper. So if I need to stretch it as big as it can, that's what I want to do, because I don't want to have any of that extra space where there's not a pattern happening. Then I'll say done. So after I've done that, I'm going to get a portrait. So I'm going to allow you to do a portrait that could be a self-portrait, a portrait of you, but it could also be of a famous person that maybe you find really inspirational or important for you. But we're going to make sure that we are picking a picture that is appropriate for school and that we're using appropriate items. So if you're choosing a person that you know, you obviously need to have their permission. So I'm going to use me because I know I have my own permission. And I've already gone and uploaded this picture into remove.bg, but remember, here it is up here. If I go remove.bg, I can take a picture and remove the background, so I just get the person, so I don't have to do all that erasing business. Remember, you are going to have to click and hold it and then add to photos to save it to your photo library. So again, I've already done that step, so I can just click, maybe let's try that again. There we go. Here's my picture. And I want to make this really big because this is the focus of my picture. So whether it's a full body or like a headshot like mine, we want to make sure it's really big and important in the page. When I'm done sizing and moving, I'm going to say done. So here's what we're going to do in order to make some of those features come in and out of the picture. So right now my person is on top of my wallpaper, and I'm actually going to switch it. So I'm going to bring my wallpaper on top so I can't see my person. But here's what I want to do. I'm going to click on this wallpaper, and you'll see this opacity down here. And I can turn that like all the way off so you don't even see the background. But what I really want to do is I want to have this like semi-transparent where I can still kind of see it, but not all the way. And as I'm doing this, I want to pick a couple of these that I'm going to trace. So I really like this one that's over here on my shoulder, so I am going to pick that one to trace, and I want to capture the color. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the opacity up, and I'm going to capture this kind of capture the golden color with my puck. So I want to make sure I get this over the color. The other way to find that is this eyedropper on top of here and drag it to the color. So you can see if I want the green, I'll choose that one. I'm going to use this orange. Then I'm going to play with this opacity, bring it down, and then, really important, we're going to forget to do this and it's going to make you so mad. We want to add this new layer and make sure that you have a new layer with the blue lines around it. So I can zoom in, quickly make the pineapple shape, And I'm going to go back to this layer, pull up the opacity again. I'm going to select this greenish color, go back to the blue layer. Oh, forgot, turn down the opacity. Go back to this layer. Oops. Oh no. And you'll know you're on the wrong layer, and I'll show you what it looks like. You'll know you're on the wrong layer if your color doesn't look bright. So I'll show you in just a moment. I'm kind of making this part up because I don't really know where it fits. And then I'm going to bucket fill. Here we go. And I'm going to bucket fill this yellow, and then I'll add those bumpy hearts on in a second. But let me show you what it looks like. So this is, if I turn the opacity up, you can see it. But if I'm drawing on the wrong layer, so let's say I have this yellow color and I'm going to trace one of these pineapples. And notice that I'm on the wrong layer. Notice that the color is not as bright as it used to be, and now it's kind of dull, because that will tell you you're on the layer that's really thin and see-through. So you want to make sure you're always on this layer that is thicker. So let's pretend for a moment, because I know we're not done, but we're going to keep like doing this. I would add those little tiny cute heart bumps on here. But let's pretend for a moment that I am done and I have many of these pineapples that are kind of over top. Then I'm going to take this wallpaper and I'm going to move it back under my person, and I'm going to turn the opacity back up. So now you can kind of see that it looks like there's some of those pineapples that are the same color. They're not see-through, but there'll be some coming in and out. So much like the one I just showed you in my gallery where I have the palm leaves. So you can see how it's not just one, there's a couple different ones that are coming in front. So we're going to practice kind of tracing and adding these shapes and colors, okay? I hope you have a great time. Save and upload to Canvas. Thanks, artists.